A couple days ago, I made a video about this whole Zoe Kravitz situation with her basically playing the victim in the follow-up of the release of the Batman film, where she stars as Catwoman, and in which she has done very well for herself. Instead of celebrating that success, instead of celebrating where she is at in history and her status in Hollywood and everything else as a multi-millionaire actor, instead of doing any of that and being grateful for that, she decided instead to play the victim and call certain people racist and all of this type of stuff. And I made a whole video about it and everything else, and now it looks like because of some backlash that she has received to that interview, she is now playing the victim in a way again and is backtracking some of the comments that she made. But it's also really weird and bizarre because in this backtracking statement that she put out on Instagram, she also is completely roasting and slamming the mainstream media for taking what she said out of context. So it's hilarious because now we have this huge jumbled mess where on one hand, I'm really annoyed at Zoe Kravitz for playing the victim, but on the other hand, I'm like, she's roasting the mainstream media and calling them out for taking some of her comments out of context and everything else. And I'm like, okay, it's just a bizarre, weird mess that we are in right now with this whole Zoe Kravitz situation. But let's go ahead and take a look at this and see what is going on. We'll kind of wade through what some of her things were that she wanted to say in her backtracking statements to this type of stuff. So Zoe Kravitz backtracks after claiming she was told she was too urban for 2012 Batman role. So if you want to, you can go watch my video about her and some of the stuff that she had to say. But basically, she played the victim, and she was talking about how one rejection stands out. In 2012, Kravitz attempted to audition for the Batman film The Dark Knight Rises, but was told she was too urban for the role, according to the article that was being written about her. I think it was probably a casting direct, or she says, I don't know if it came directly from Chris Nolan. She says, anxious not to impugn the reputation of an award-winning director. I think it was probably a casting director of some kind, or a casting director's assistant. And so then she also went on to talk about how, you know, she doesn't feel safe going to bars and stuff because of white people or something. So anyway, we're going to take a look at what she said here. And this is what she said is kind of like her follow-up to that interview. So this is what she said. Okay, let's talk about clickbait bad journalism. I was not told I was too urban to play Catwoman in The Dark Knight. It would have made no sense for me to even be considered for that role at that time, which I don't think, I mean, yeah, it makes sense that she wouldn't be playing Catwoman in that role. That movie was quite some time ago. So, yeah, I mean, it just makes sense, right? I wanted to audition for a small part in the film and was told, I do not know who said this, but this is how it was worded to me, that they were not going urban on the part. This is something I heard a lot 10 years ago. It was a very different time. So this is, again, one of those little parts of what she was saying where she isn't really refuting what she was saying in the first place, which is her playing the victim and basically calling people in Hollywood super duper racist and everything else. That's basically what she's implying here. But then she went on and said, I did not mention this to point any fingers or make anyone seem racist, namely Chris Nolan, the film's producers, or anyone on the casting team, because I truly do not believe anyone meant any harm. And so basically, a lot of the people in the mainstream media, they took what she was saying and basically were blaming it on Christopher Nolan and trying to imply that he was racist. And even though Zoe Kravitz is still basically reaffirming that she does believe that people in Hollywood are super duper bad and racist and everything else, especially white people, she is trying to basically separate a lot of those claims that she made from Christopher Nolan, which makes sense because as someone who works in Hollywood, you don't want to be on Christopher Nolan's bad side. So if she is trying to accuse Christopher Nolan of that, then that isn't going to be good for her career moving forward and potential opportunities, because Christopher Nolan is a huge deal in Hollywood. He has a major impact in Hollywood. So of course she doesn't want to get on Christopher Nolan's bad side. So that's what it kind of seems like to me with what she's saying here. She's basically trying to walk back some of the stuff that was implied about what she was saying about Christopher Nolan, but everything else has pretty much stayed the same. I was simply given an example of what it was like to be a woman of color in this industry at that time. 10 years ago? Really? Like, oh my goodness. So apparently in 10 years, Hollywood has completely changed. There's no more bad things going on in Hollywood. And before 10 years ago, there was never a black woman who is in Hollywood, who found success or anything else, apparently, according to her. I don't know what she's trying to get at here. It's really dumb, really ridiculous, and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Again, this was many years ago, 10 years ago, many years ago, when words like that were thrown around very casually. And although I'm very glad that we are attempting to evolve, let's all calm down, as well as fact check before we write things that are untrue. So I do appreciate the fact that she is roasting the mainstream media here. That is great, because they absolutely deserve all of the slamming that they get. But on the other hand, she is still basically saying everyone is super duper racist in Hollywood and everything else. So I thought this was really good. This was something that John Nolt from Breitbart News wrote about her after what she said originally. So imagine you're Zoe Kravitz. You're 33 years old. Your father is Lenny Kravitz. Your mother is Lisa Bonet. You grew up wealthy, privileged, pampered, and beautiful. And thanks in no small part to being born on third base, you've been working steadily as an actress for 15 years. Then it happens. It finally happens. Your dream comes true. The dream of every dreamer in Hollywood. You win that breakthrough role. The one that puts you over the top. Hey, congratulations. Seriously, even with your countless birthright advantages, we all know you worked hard, paid your dues, put in the time, and here you are, right where you want to be. That is the American dream. And instead of Zoe Kravitz being grateful for that opportunity that she has here in this country, she has instead continued to be very ungrateful and play the victim and everything else. So with that being said, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new. I'd appreciate that. Thank you so much for everyone who has brought me over that 200,000 subscriber threshold. I really do appreciate that, and I'll talk to you in another video soon. Bye.